Hello, it is March in Vermont, and at Vermont PBS, that means one thing, maple time. And I'm here with Sean Buchanan, president of Black River Produce, and the rock and roll queen of maple, Ruth Goodrich, one of several guest cooks that we're going to have all day, demonstrating all the great things that you can make with maple. So I'm going to leave it in Sean's good hands and let you and Ruth take it away.
Sounds good. Thank you, Neil. So, for the next 2 hours, all you fine Vermont viewers will be taking down Maple Season Lane, right? And
Awesome.
So we're going to start by doing some recipes with Ruth Goodrich out of Cabot, Vermont, and you have quite the setup here. What are we making today?
Oh, we're gonna make some good stuff.
Whenever you're here, you're always making good stuff.
We like good food, don't we? And
Yes.
we love maple.
And we love
maple is good on everything.
I know. I have this wonderful back tattoo. It's just a giant maple leaf.
Sure. Okay. I'll take your word for that. Well, today we're going to do one of the good old-fashioned favorites and Vermont treats of sugar on snow.
Love that.
We're going to do some maple glazed salmon with
Okay.
rice and some maple glazed frankfurts or hot dogs.
Well, I love hot
know
dogs and I love maple, so that'll be a good fit.
So,
well, how about we swap
Okay, we'll
places?
swap places here. We'll get things going. This is starting to go. That's going good. So maple syrup is good for you.
Yes.
It's excellent sweetener, natural sweetener.
Why is it good for you? Because a lot of people say that, but why?
Oh, well, it's fewer in calories.
That's true.
And it's also full of antioxidants.
Really?
So we want to eat healthier
Yeah.
today. A lot of bad publicity out there about all types of different processed sugars and things. Grandma and Grandpa Goodrich used to say, maple syrup is good for what ails you. But now we know why. It's
Now we know why.
really good for you.
So for all those people who are tired of the antioxidant beets and blueberries, give them up and just drink maple.
Hey, just coat them with maple syrup. They're great.
Good.
Maple syrup, you can throw it in a smoothie with your favorite fruits and things, and it absolutely tastes wonderful. We're starting to boil some maple syrup here, and this is going to be for sugar on snow.
All right, and you put a little butter in there, which is a
little
traditional
bit of-
thing. Why do you do that?
Well, it keeps the foam down.
That's right.
But what we don't want to do is use it if you have anybody that has a dairy allergy.
Okay.
So you want to be careful. If you have somebody with a dairy allergy, you can use just a little dab of...
Pork lard.
No. Oh, please, bite your tongue. Vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil.
Vegetable
good enough.
oil. So what we got here is we're going to put some butter in this pan and
Okay.
get that good and melted. And then we're going to add some onions, and we're just going to cook those. Normally I would not cook onions on the same stove I'm cooking sugar on snow maple with, because maple does tend to absorb odors.
It does. It does.
But because we're all one kitchen here, this is what we're doing today.
and we have a limited time. So
We
that's
do.
why.
So we're just going to brown those up a little bit and let those cook. Meanwhile, our syrup here is going quite nicely.
Good.
And you have to get it to approximately 230 to 232 degrees for sugar on snow, and it's getting really close because
I love how people who do maple syrup for a living, you can just eyeball it.
you eyeball it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you've done it 3,000 times, you got it. So you see how that's doing that off the spoon? It's sheeting
Yeah.
quite nicely. We're going to test it right over here
Okay.
on the snow.
Wow.
And that's not ready yet.
Not ready.
So this is
But I do want to eat it up.
This is a question that we get from a lot of people, so I wanted you to see that. Normally people think you just pour syrup on snow and it sinks right down in and then they eat the snow. Personally,
Which is,
it tastes good. It makes the snow
You know,
taste good.
yeah.
But when you can get it to stay right on top of the snow, it turns into this lovely waxy taffy
that stuff's
that is
so
to
good.
die for.
Yeah.
And that is what we like to have for sugar on snow. So our onions are cooking away quite nicely here. And as soon as those have cooked just a little bit, we're going to add the salmon
Okay.
to that.
Adding the salmon with the onions, that's a nice little treat. You get the flavor in there, that's a good
Oh,
way
it's
to do it.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Just wonderful. Now, can you smell that wonderful maple?
Yeah, I can smell the maple.
When people
the
come into
onions.
the sugar house and they smell anything maple cooking, they just start to get really hungry, and then they
well,
buy a lot of syrup and take it home with them.
Well, and they should, because
It's a sales technique.
it is, but Vermont produces incredible maple syrup. And it's incredible industry. But talk about your operation.
Well, we tap 45,000 trees, and
Wow.
we are located right on Route 2 in Cabot, and we have a public sugar house, so anybody can come in.
And you guys probably going to be closed Maple Open House weekend.
No. We will be closed on Sunday because that's our church and family day, but we
Fair
will be
enough.
open on Friday and Saturday.
All
and
right.
every weekend is Maple Open House weekend at our sugar house. We love to have visitors come.
And when is Maple Open House this year?
It's in the end of March.
End of March.
I believe.
All right.
Somewhere around the 23rd.
We'll figure
Correct
out what
me
day
on
that is.
I haven't been home much to look at the calendar, so we've been out tapping the trees and selling sugaring equipment to all sorts of sugar makers all across the region, so it's really quite fun. Let's bring that right over here for a second. We'll see how close we're getting. It just smells so wonderful.
Oh, there you go. Now it's
Okay,
sitting right
look at
on
that.
top.
Now when that stays right on top, and you can actually, I'll put that in there, when you can pick it up with a fork, then it's done. So see how that just almost,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's pretty much there. So try that.
And then do I get to eat it?
You do. Yeah.
That was really good.
You want some more?
I do want some more.
Oh, well, we can arrange that.
I got a sweet tooth.
See, what's really fun is you make this, and we make it by the gallon, and serve sugar on snow parties at our sugar house, and people can come in and enjoy that lovely Vermont treat.
This is apparently very popular in Boston right now.
Is it?
I think we got like 35 feet of snow.
Well, yeah, although in the city the snow is not quite what you'd want to eat off
No,
of,
it's
is
not
it?
fun like Vermont snow covered in
So
maple
I've got a
syrup.
salmon fillet here, and we're just going to throw that right in there with that onion. And that's going to start to cook quite nicely here. And we got our onions in there. And then here's the real good part. I don't measure this at all. I just kind of eyeball it. You just pour that syrup in there, and it's going to start to mix with the onions and the...
You can really smell it coming together.
You can. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. And we're going to let that cook until that's kind of doing its thing. Now, here's the fun part. We've got this lovely sugar on snow here, and before I do anything more with this, we're just going to pour some more on there, because I think I know you might have a bit of a sweet tooth.
I got a hankering for sugar on snow.
This will keep you busy there. Now, I'm going to take this same syrup that I've already thickened up for the sugar on snow, and I'm going to take these little hot dog pieces, and I'm just going to dump them in there. And so now we're going to bring that back up to a boil, and we're just going to coat these hot dogs. We're going to cook the hot dogs in the syrup. Now, you may have heard some old tales about how they used to cook hot dogs and eggs in the evaporator.
Yes.
That's a good way to make your syrup taste like hot dogs and eggs, but it's a very
Which,
effective...
if you're into that, do that. But if you're a business, rethink that a little.
Yeah, that's kind of in the old days, way back in the woods. But it's a wonderful thing to flavor your meats with.
It is.
If you've got a ham that you're baking for a holiday dinner and you want to make it taste wonderful, you sprinkle maple sugar on that or pour maple syrup over that and baste it. Oh, it's marvelous.
We do these braised short ribs with teriyaki sauce and maple glaze on them, sesame seeds. To die for. Really incredible.
So this is cooking quite nicely, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
Doesn't that look beautiful?
Yeah, and I mean,
so we're going to get under that and flip it over.
The interesting thing about this is you didn't put any seasoning on the fish. Salmon's got that big salty flavor, so it's really got it.
Yeah, I did bring, if you've got seasonings that you like, salt, pepper, I like to use this no salt seasoning. It gives it wonderful flavor. You can use your favorite herbs or spices. The world's a stage. You can make anything this way. So I'm just putting these little onions up on there and letting it cook and get that flavor all in there. And you can see how it's thickening the syrup just a little bit there.
Oh, for sure.
And we've got our rice here, so we're getting close.
All right, let me get a
So I'm going to take some rice out of the pot here and put that on the plate, and there we have our rice. And as soon as that's ready, we'll put it right out there with it. Now you can see the hot dogs are cooking in here.
Yeah,
and
they look great.
What's neat about this is hot dogs, when you slice them, they don't look so pretty, but when you do this to them, they kind of plump out in the middle.
Yeah, and they look super cute.
They look like those expensive hors d'oeuvres that you might pay a lot of money for. And so that's kind of a neat thing. So I'm going to take this little bowl right here.
And you promised me you weren't going to burn my mouth, but with that thing boiling
we're going to let that cool down. We're going to remember last year, yeah, syrup is hot. That is a very important point to bring up, because anytime you cook with syrup, this is hot. You can get very badly burned with syrup if you're not careful. Always let things cool down just a bit before you start munching right into them. It saves a lot on that skin on the inside of your mouth. Okay, so now we've got some lovely looking little hot dogs in here now.
Oh, those look great.
Look at these.
Nice and shiny, covered
nice
in
and
maple
shiny.
syrup.
Oh, and they are going to be so tasty. Now, you can add these to any dish. We did this at a friend's house the other night when they had macaroni and cheese, and we had some hot dogs, and we said, you know, I bet you we could really jazz that up. So we cooked the hot dogs in the maple syrup, and then we added that to the macaroni and cheese, and it was absolutely divine. It was good. So we're going to set that aside and let's let that cool down just a little bit. Now, our salmon is ready. So we're going to take that and put that right here. And right there, and we might just take a little of this and put it on the rice.
Great.
Now remember, let this cool off. There we go.
The maple syrup is hot. Delicious.
The maple syrup is hot. Very, very good. Okay, so now if you had some nice herbs or some vegetables and garnish that up a little bit with that, it would look really, really pretty.
Well, I think it looks very wonderful.
So,
we get to eat. Yes.
Arm yourself. Blow on it first.
Should we start with the maple hot dogs?
I would think they probably are cool. You know, just always, do that lip radar thing and kind of feel it. And How is it?
That's really good. I love hot dogs and I love maple syrup.
Is that a good combo?
It is a really good combo. This
That's
is
awesome.
For the dinner parties. This is
You put little toothpicks in it and it would look really cute.
Night, after school, midnight. This is the perfect dish for me. All right. Let's go for the salmon. Beautiful medium rare salmon, must say.
Looks good.
Neil, you're missing out.
I know. What's
You're
going
missing
on
out.
here? Ruth, you're amazing. You really are the rock and roll queen of maple.
It's incredible.
Well, I've been known to make a lot of people laugh in my day, but it worked today. So
and you've made a lot of good meals, too.
Oh, we like to eat, yes. The food is good at Goodrich's Maple Farm, you bet.